There are no hybrid safeties on this list, just a former quarterback. But we're going to be going over the linebacking prospects for the 2021 NFL draft class. I'm Stephen L. Gardell, better known as What's Crackalackin'. It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. And if you're viewing this on Fan to Fan Network, then go ahead, check out my YouTube channel. I got plenty of draft content there as well. And BT Dubs, my full expanded rankings will be on the website. So go check that out. On top of that, I do have merch. Ooh, I got a buddy. Hey, he was like, let me make you shirts. I'm like, sure, make me shirts. So go help him out if you like. And that's the link to that is going to be in the comment section. It's going to be pinned as well as the description. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about these linebackers. And we start with Micah Parsons. I finally said it right. I keep wanting to say Micah. I don't know why, but it's Micah Parsons. The dude's a freak athlete. He is kind of like what you want ideally in a linebacker. Like you think linebacker, you think Micah Parsons. You're like, wow, freak athlete, very strong, sure tackler, stout against the run. He can match up against any offensive lineman. He could go toe-to-toe with them. And he was actually pretty solid in coverage. Not great, but he was pretty solid. He allowed no touchdowns, and he only allowed one game for 50-plus yards. The dude's very good as a pass rusher. He had 23 pressures on only 87 pass rushing snaps. This guy's going to be a top 10 pick. And then at number 2, I got Nick Bolton out of Missouri. Very, very underrated. Yeah, underrated prospect going in here. He's an excellent athlete. I think he's definitely the best coverage athlete among this whole class. He only allowed 180 yards in coverage last season. He's a hard hitter, but I don't think he plays strong enough around the line of scrimmage. The dude is a bit small at 6 foot. So he's going to win. He'd have to out leverage coming downhill, but he's better in coverage. Just let him do him, you know? Don't force him to do things that he's okay at. But this guy, very solid. I think he definitely deserves to be looked at in the first round. I want to kind of compare him to Willie Gay Jr. and we saw him kind of fall, but he also had some character red flags up there. Bolton doesn't have any of that. At 3, I have Dylan Moses at Alabama, everybody's favorite linebacking prospect. The dude, I mean, I get it. The dude's a freak athlete in his own right. He's a sideline to sideline athlete. He did display good instincts, but he was pretty bad in coverage overall in 2018. He had the ACL injury in 2019, so I just want to see him play this season before I kind of put him as a first-round prospect. So I think that's fair. We're going based off the 2018 tape, and I think he's actually moving to middle linebacker. He was at least supposed to last season, so I'm assuming he's going to be there this year. So I just want to see it first. Fair? I think it's fair. And then F4, I got Chazz Surratt out of North Carolina. This is the former quarterback. He used to be a quarterback. The dude is a pretty darn good athlete, and he plays with great instincts. Maybe because he used to be a quarterback, he can see through the quarterback's eyes in coverage. He's great in coverage, but he is still learning the position, and being a former quarterback, he wasn't that great of a tackler last season. He missed 27 tackles on 120 attempts, but there is some upside to him, and if he could clean up his game, he could maybe sneak into the first round or at the very least early second. At 5, I got Jabril Cox out of LSU. He transferred from North Dakota State, and he was a stud there. 2-time All-American. He's very athletic, kind of played all over the field. He finished his career at North Dakota State with 258 tackles, 32 of those for loss, 14 sacks, 18 pass breakups. That's right. He was in coverage too. Ridiculous. And 6 picks. That was through 3 seasons. Yeah, he's going to be a very interesting, very fun prospect to watch this year. He might be used more in the Clavon Chason role, but I could kind of see them moving him a variety of different spots there. at linebacker. And then at 6, I have Palaie Gaoteote. Let me say that one more time. Palaie Gaoteote. Hell of a name. I like it. But this guy, extremely athletic, dude. Very, very athletic, especially for the position. He plays with a lot of burst and a lot of explosion, but he has been hampered by injuries throughout his career, so that's a bit of a red flag there. Because of that, he's kind of seen limited time on the field, and that's may have kind of stunted his growth, because there are a few areas I'd like to see him do better at. I want to see him, especially for his athletic ability, for his size, 6'2", 249. He doesn't take blockers on too well, so maybe that's something I want to see him get better at. Hopefully maybe it's just a technique thing. He does he doesn't really impact the passing game. I would say like he's back there. That's kind of it. So there are a bit of questions. I want to see him put it all together. He does play very well in space. Like I said, he's very very athletic, and he hits pretty darn hard. Like, you could probably look up a highlight reel and it hurts. At 7, I have Monty Rice out of Georgia. Ideal size, pretty good athletic ability, solid tackler. He made a lot of plays around the line of scrimmage, but he was kind of average in coverage, and for me that's kind of a knock on you as a linebacker in today's NFL. And I still think he has a long way to go. Like you could see it last year where he kind of misdiagnosed plays, particularly versus the run. He'd be running one way and the plays to the other way. So just something maybe to get better at, maybe pre-snap recognition or something. Like, we'll see. For me, it's something that can be developed. So that's why I still have him pretty high on this list at 7, because like I said, ideal size, great athletic ability. That means you're coachable. At 8, I got Jack Sanborn out of Wisconsin. So Jack here, he's a bit undersized at 6'2", 232, but he was stellar in coverage. He won't really blow up plays in the backfield or versus the run. Like I said, coverage is kind of his bread and butter, but he could really use some explosion to his game. He's not necessarily as athletic as you'd like, and he did have 24 missed tackles to his 100 attempts. No power to the game. Like I said, you're going to use him way more in coverage. He won't really offer that versus the run, so maybe a guy that really just sees the field on passing downs. But nonetheless, I think that pass coverage is very valuable. So I have him here as a late day 2 guy. And then at 9, I got Charles Snowden out of Virginia. Very intriguing prospect here, because he did a variety of different things at Virginia. He was a blitzer, a run defender. He could drop back into coverage. I mean, especially with that frame, 6'7", 235. He was great at a lot, but he was really a master at none of it. I feel like him not being able to hone on one particular thing to do, it's kind of allowed him not to have anything to hang his hat on. He hasn't been really able to develop in one area. The learning curve has not been kind, because he's been asked to do so much, but he's a very fluent athlete for his size. I mean, just watching a 6'7" guy drop back, man, that sucks, man. It's a crazy wingspan. I mean, you won't want to even see that on the line of scrimmage. You're trying to pass and then bam, just swat that sucker down. But I do like the physical upside, bit raw, but again, I think if they ask him to hone in on one or two things, then he should be just fine. So gotta like the upside. And then finishing this list at 10 is Merlin Robertson out of Arizona State. This was a guy that I really had to actually search really hard to find real film on. I've only saw a bunch of highlight reels, and So I actually would have to like I'd YouTube old games, which kind of sucks when you can't because typically YouTube's pretty nice when it comes to like you could put in a prospect's name and you could probably find all the game footage where they were on the field. So instead with him I'd have to watch a whole game and like, okay, he's not on the field, just keep hitting that forward button until it got to defense. So that was kind of annoying, but interesting, very interesting prospect. Excellent run defender, pretty darn good size at 6'3", 251. A bit of a spaz. It's kind of interesting. It just looks funky how he moves, but I wouldn't say it's really to his detriment. That makes sense. It was just interesting. But again, I like his length. And I mean, he's guaranteed good against the run. Maybe want to see a bit more in coverage given his length. So we'll see. But go ahead, check out the full list there on Fan to Fan Network. And that's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing. Any comments, concerns in the description below. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.